Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host, and welcome to the Lone Doctrine. I am your weekly dose of constructive food for thought. We've been talking about transition, the type of transitions which can also be seen as change. I feel most of us are constantly changing. We have experiences in our lives that cause change. We make choices that create change. And we have different stages of life that come with change. I know with all changes I've gone through in my life, the changes I've experienced as an adult have felt very different than when I was a child and even a teenager. Let me share with you some of my feelings during this recent life change. Maybe you've felt something similar, or maybe this will give you a heads up. In making decisions to change my path in my career, I felt as if I was losing or leaving behind my self-identity. How could I go into something new when I had been one way for so many years? When we feel as if we're giving up on ourselves, even if that's not the case, we will sometimes do whatever we can to stay in our comfort zone. It got hard. It got really hard. And I found myself wishing it would just go back to the way it was. I felt as if I was giving up on everything I had worked so hard for, everything that was me. Now that I can look back, as difficult as that feeling was, as difficult as the transition was, I realized I was evolving. I was growing. I had become so stagnant that I refused to look to anything else. I lost out on all options. And in a way, I couldn't see beyond my own bubble. When I was in it really deep, it was difficult. I was reaching for status quos, comparing myself to others, and basically doing almost everything in the opposite manner of what I truly believed. My values, my beliefs, my identity was jumbled up in fear, which can manifest into so many aspects such as sadness, depression, health issues, all of which I experienced. Yes, I too am human. I'm always going to be real with you because my passion in progression, I believe, comes from honesty. So, what do you do in the mix of such a difficult time? Here's one aspect which we emphasized on last month, and that's living in the now. I was so overconsumed by the future, I was slowing myself down in the moment. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, take it one day at a time. Well, sometimes I even took it 1 hour at a time. It felt as if everything hit at once. I made a huge career change. Another one of my jobs is winding down. A new job didn't work out. Plus, I had 2 of my closest family members fighting cancer on top of other family challenges, relationship challenges, losing loved ones, and my own personal health issues. All of this, with multiple layers, hit all at once. I'm saying that no matter how difficult it is, we must keep pushing forward. You might ask, well, did you keep going because you saw the light at the end of the tunnel? For a long time, all I saw was darkness. But I kept pushing forward on what some may call blind faith. I had to let myself not only grieve over all of my personal challenges, but I had a multitude of levels in which I had to expect massive change. My life drastically changed. I had to step back and daydream. Yes, I said daydream. I had to reinvent and allow my growth to authentically be. And that's where I came up with the idea of splitting the atom of my passions. I may or may not have mentioned this before, but I sat down and asked myself the big why question. What do I want to do with my life? What do I want it to look like? What are my dreams, my desires? And then ask myself, why do I want to do all of those things? Once I found all of my whys, I sat back and allowed myself to daydream. In fact, this very podcast was one of the answers. It came to me and I couldn't sleep. I was so invigorated to create and share any and all aspects of my experience throughout life and being a professional musician in hopes of helping others and in hopes of helping myself keep pushing forward. It may sound strange, but I listen to these podcasts and I do my best to live in action. You can use this method of daydreaming in a lot of different ways. You can designate walks to just think. You can find a goal and reverse engineer the steps. You can meditate. You can journal, and so much more. The point is, sometimes we have to step back and allow ourselves the time to freely pursue all options. Once you're embracing change, be prepared to fail. Ouch. Yes, fail fast is my motto. When you are experiencing something new, you're bound to have hiccups along the way. Speed bumps, uphill climbs. This doesn't just apply to your work. It can apply to your health, your mental well-being, and many different aspects of life. But what you must remember is that you must persevere. You must find your grit. If you haven't heard of the term grit, here's the definition. It's the power of passion and perseverance. There's a great TED Talk on grit. Definitely look it up. To be honest, I'm still changing. And although I'm in a much better place than before, it's been a major transformation. And I know now it won't be my last. We all will have many chapters of our lives, and the more we learn to embrace it, the more tools we gather to be able to push through the higher heights we'll reach, the better off we will be. I'll leave you with this quote by Robin Sharma. Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. If you found value in today's podcast, we could use your help keeping the lights on. Visit lonedoctrine.com where you'll find a support button that's partnered up with Patreon. Your support allows us to keep creating, and we could really use your help to reach our goal so we can bring more and more and more content. Thank you so much for your support. You are awesome. Let's keep pushing forward together, and until next time, keep fighting the good fight.
It's a